Hi Wy'east families, it's Kate. Today we're going to make muffins. Not just any muffins. These muffins were a staple of my childhood. Almost every Sunday morning, my mom would get up early and put together these muffins. And I have since learned how to do them without a recipe because I make them so often. And I make them for my kids. The recipe that we're going to make is just a basic muffin recipe. There's nothing fancy in it, no flavors, no fruit, anything like that, which means that you could do anything you wanted with it. You could put blueberries, you could put chocolate chips. My mom's famous recipe was this basic muffin recipe with chocolate chips, coconut, and pecans. Delicious. But the best thing about muffins is you can get creative. Let's get started. First, we're going to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. And don't forget to wash your hands. Okay, so I have my main bowl and I have a measuring cup. In the main bowl, we are going to put our dry ingredients. So we have 2 cups of flour. This is just regular grocery store wheat all-purpose flour. Oops, I forgot my measuring spoons. Forgot my utensils. Okay, so then we put in to our flour 3 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and 1/3 cup of sugar, just regular white sugar. And you'll see I have my 3rd cup in here because I always use my 3rd cup to make these muffins, and I make these muffins so often that it's just convenient. So I'm going to stir that all up together with my little whisk. Now I'm going to set that aside. And now we get to do our wet ingredients. So we're going to start off with 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm just using cow's milk. Sometimes I use oat milk or soy milk, whatever I have here at the house, but today it's cow's milk. You can use whatever milk you want. And then I'm going to put in 1/4 of a cup of cooking oil. Just canola or vegetable oil works really well. And then 1 egg. Think. And I'm going to get my whisk and I'm going to stir that all up together. Now the one thing we do that my mom didn't do, but I think it makes the muffins taste delicious, is some yogurt. This is just plain Greek yogurt, and I have to be honest, I don't measure it. I just put some in. Okie doke. And then I'm going to stir that up. And then, as my mom always taught me, you pour the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Whoop! And then you switch to stirring with a wooden spoon. That way you don't add too much air to the muffins because they're not supposed to be airy. They're supposed to be, I don't know, what's the texture they're supposed to be? They're supposed to be light, but not airy. And then the other thing she taught me is you never stir too much. You always stir just until all of the dry ingredients are no longer dry. So just stir it a little bit, not too much. There, that looks pretty good. That's a really nice muffin batter. Plop. Then I'm gonna scoop it all into my prepared muffin tin. So I have this muffin tin that I have sprayed with cooking spray to keep the muffins from sticking. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up now. And then one thing my mom always did is she would always go back and find the ones that had a little too much and fill up the ones that have not quite enough, because that way they'll all cook evenly and we'll have the same size muffins. And isn't that the way it should be? If you have too much, give a little bit to somebody or something that doesn't have as much, so we can all have what we need. Okay, that is kind of messy, but you know what? You should know this by now. Messy is okay. Just a little bit left in my bowl I want to get. All right, they're all full. Now we get to put them in the oven. Okay. And this is the part you can get your parents' help with, because it's hot in there. 400 degrees we have this set to. In go the muffins. I'm gonna close it up. And now I'm gonna set a timer. I set my timer for 20 minutes. Where are we going? There we go. And then we wait. And while we wait, you know what we can do? We can clean up. So all of this needs to go away and be put back in the fridge or the pantry, where it goes, and washed. Making bread, cooking and eating with family, and honoring our ancestors are some of the most important things we can do in this life. Keeps the past alive and passing it on to our future generations. Creates a connection to everything that came before us. Guess what? My kittens are playing in the background again. Go figure. Do you have a special recipe that you like to make with your family? Maybe it's bread, maybe it's a dessert, maybe it's a main dish or a side dish. Every family has their special, unique, signature dish. What's yours? And do you know how to make it? And if you don't, ask your mom and dad. Maybe they'll know, maybe they'll teach you. Maybe you're not ready to learn it just yet, but one day you will. Muffins are done. Let's take them out, see how we did. Ooh, see that steam? Delicious. Remember to use a hot pad or get your parents' help to take them out of the oven, because that pan is 400 degrees. And then we always remember to turn off the oven when we're done cooking. One of the other things my mom did that I always do just because it reminds me of her is she would pop out the muffins like this. Do you see all the steam that comes out when I do that? I don't know if you can tell on the video, but there's a lot of steam that just comes out. And if we leave the muffins in there, in all that steam, they'll get soggy. And you know what they say, nobody likes a soggy bottom. So we tip them to the side and let all the steam come out, so that when we go to eat them, they're nice and crispy and delicious. And this is what I would see every Sunday morning whenever my mom made muffins. I would come downstairs and there would be a pan of muffins on its side like this. And here we have our finished muffins. And ooh, they're nice and crispy. And then they're nice and fluffy on the inside. Look at all that steam, yummy, hot, fresh out of the oven muffins. And then I like to put butter on mine. Whoop. They're so crumbly and delicious. They're perfect. My mom would be proud. Well, that sure was fun. I've always wanted to do a cooking show, and how lucky am I to be able to do it with my mom's recipe. So this is for Gramme Joyce. I hope you can all try them, and you can adjust the recipe the way you like it. With different flours, experiment. Different flours, different milks, different ingredients. One really fun thing to do is to roll them in butter and cinnamon sugar right after they come out of the oven. Delicious. Here, let me show you my cat. She's being silly, just like she always does. Happy cooking, everybody.